You have discovered through the expansion of the internet world. I am Johnny Allen, and this is the Johnny Allen 30-minute podcast. 4, 3, 2, 1. This is the Johnny Allen podcast, 30-minute podcast. Hello, I'm Johnny Allen. It is March the 25th, 2022. 2022, yeah. Did anybody catch that last week? I said 2020 again. Comment below if you did. It is March the 25th, 2022. Yes, and we're still here. We haven't had no nuclear fallout or anything. I pray that we don't. Yeah, so how's the world treating you guys? I drink coffee. I'm drinking Black Rifle coffee today. The medium roast is good with the Mustang Unites mug because I'm a Mustang fan. They're killing me on the gas though. $4.22 a gallon here in the Midwest of the United States of America. You know, but it's I got mixed emotions about all this. I'm willing to pay a little bit extra to help out Ukrainians, obviously. To help out humanitarian causes. I'm willing to pay a little extra money. I've talked about that before, right? But the thing is, here in the United States, man, we have our own resources of getting fossil fuels, and we should tap those. That's all I'm going to say about that, because that'll bring our costs down. We should make, for freedom-loving people, we should make it the most economical situation that we can in order to free up our money. We have a little more money that we can share with the folks that are not so fortunate, right? We got to be healthy, in other words, financially and all the way around to continue to fight for freedom around the world. I'm normally not a political type podcast. I just talk about everyday life situations, but that pretty much is everyday life right there. We have to be economically strong. We have to be morally strong. We have to stick together as a free nation in order to sustain freedom around the world, because you're going to have the Vladimir Putins of the world doing what they're doing. So it's important for us to stay strong. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm doing okay. It's getting a little colder here in the Midwest. It was nice earlier. It's that time of year, though, March, man. You have 60, 70 degrees one day, 2 days, and then you wait for 4 days and it's going to snow. Not much, a little snow on Saturday. This coming weekend. I finally got my Zoom figured out, so I'll get with Mr. Harbaugh, Mr. Stephen Harbaugh, and we'll get together and we will talk about his book, Discipling. It's right here. We're gonna have Steve on as a guest. It's an interesting book. I started digging into it a little bit more. Basically, what it is 12 interviews with 14 wonderful people, hearing their stories, their faith journeys, and just telling about how they discovered God and how God has really calls us to do things and to do the right things. I heard today it's incredible that Putin had actually made a statement or made a quote from the Bible from John, one of the verses in John. But he's doing the total opposite of what, God and Jesus, if you're a believer, or I am, would want him to do. I don't know. It's weird times, and I'm going to talk about, and again, thanks for joining me today. Comment below on anything I got to say, or if there's something that's on your mind, feel free to comment. It's weird. I talk about how life changes all the time. I mean, certainly the people in Ukraine saw their life change, right? Pretty obvious. Life is constantly changing all the time. People come and go in your life, whether it be through just a move or you lose contact or through death. I've lost a lot of my friends and family through death the last couple of years because of COVID and other things. Your life definitely changes. It's up and down like a roller coaster. I talk about it quite a bit, but it is true. I look back on my life and look back on how much things have changed all the way around. Comment below if there's, if you guys feel the same way. If you've seen it, if you guys seen changes in your life, I've seen so many changes in the world, so many changes. And by me saying that, in the same token, some things never change. But I think I see more change than not. That's for sure. I've seen some funny things too on YouTube because I've been trying to laugh about. I've been just trying to laugh because there's so much, horrible crap going on in the world, right? And then, gosh, it can be so damn depressing, and I'm trying not to let that stuff get me down, I've lost, like I said, some good friends to disease and stuff like that. I got a couple really good friends of mine that, had some diagnoses that aren't so great. I'm praying for them. And I just don't know. I don't have the answers, and and I could do the best I can to prevent bad things, but ultimately I don't have any control of what happens in this life or in this world we live in. The only thing I could do is be a peaceful person, try to look out for other people, look out for myself in good, positive ways. Try not to be judgmental. Try not to be, possessed over certain things. I told my wife the other day I'm restoring an old car, and I've had the car for a long time, and I'm really getting going on it. I'm getting it close to being finished in the restoration, which has taken like 30 years to restore the car. And I said, but at the same time, I had to take a break away from even the car because I don't want to be consumed by one thing. I don't want to feel like I'm idolizing something. Comment below on that if you guys think that way. You get so consumed to something, you feel like you're idolizing it. I know a lot of people idolize this. The cell phone. Oh my gosh. I mean, people are, I've talked about this before, just glued to it. It's like they idol this thing. And what I did, it wanted to refresh my apps. And I decided, and Facebook was one of them, and I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna restore Facebook on my cell phone. Because I got doing this too much. And not focusing on other things and focusing on, like, if I go out to dinner or breakfast or whatever with my wife, friends or family, they ended up, on a cell, looking at Facebook and stuff. I know last Saturday or last weekend, I took the wife out to eat for breakfast. We do that quite a bit. My phone is down now because I don't look at Facebook or anything else. And she was on Facebook kind of checking some things out. And I said, and I just casually said this without getting in trouble. I said, honey, that's why I turned my Facebook off on my phone. I can't really access Facebook on my phone anymore. And she looked at me and she went, oh. she kind of got the idea. She, put it down. And I'm not saying it to be mean or whatever. I don't control her. She can do what she wants. But I think it's just healthy to not be addicted to everything. Just one thing or what, or you know what I mean? Don't be addicted to things, really. But where I was going with this, I did watch some YouTubes, the funny ones, to get my mind off of what's really going on. And I seen one. This is no knock to Jen Psaki either. I'm not political. Some people love her, some people don't. I have no opinion about her. She's trying to do her job, doing the best I suppose she can. But there was this thing on somebody posted on YouTube where they took the old episode of Star Trek, like the old, and where they were visiting Earth again after 1,000 years or whatever to check on the Earth. And on the big screen, the Star Trek screen that they have on the ship, Jen Psaki, the press meetings was going on with Jen Psaki. And she kept going, I'll circle back. I'm going to circle back. I'm going to circle back. I'm going to circle back. It's just hilarious. If you guys get a chance to see that, I don't know if I can find it. If I did, I'll share the link below. It's just funny. And she does go, a lot. And, I do it, but I'm not this professional guy, I'm not the White House press secretary, I'm just good old Johnny Allen, the plain and simple, common everyday guy, simple man. That's what I am. But by me saying that, I thought, you know what? Maybe I should go, even on my little podcast here. So anyway, it was funny. I this week I've just been so busy, but I got to talk for 30 minutes every Thursday. That's what I do every Thursday afternoon, or evening actually, early evening, early night, late evening, early night, whatever. Thursdays, I chat for 30 minutes about everyday life situations. So what's going on in you guys' life? Are you guys doing okay? Hopefully you're surviving. Hopefully you're over in the Ukraine. Gosh, I pray you're doing good over there. I pray that you're, just making it, either escaping or. I just pray for the best for you people. It saddens me so much. It's almost like just mind numbing. You just look at these pictures of Putin. He's got these like non-emotion face going on, emotionalist face expressions going on. I don't understand how, like I said last week, I don't understand how people think that way. How can you have a clean conscience killing kids? Don't know. Anyway, so me saying that, I try to take my mind off of watching funny YouTubes, comedy, working on my old car, playing some music. I'm a musician. Just trying to take my mind off of it for a little bit, but it's on the back of my mind. And like I said, I'm really talking about changes today, changes that go on in your life, guys. I've seen a lot of them through my life. I'm 58 years old, just turned 58. I've seen a lot of changes. I've lost a lot of friends. I've lost a lot of family. I had nightmares and dreams. I told my wife this about a year ago. I had really nightmares for a while that I was being abandoned. Like everybody in my life is gone, like disappearing. It's scary stuff. The feeling of just everybody being gone. Have you ever had those kind of dreams? Comment below. You as you live your life, you obviously you have good friends, you have family, you build on relationships, you get them really close to some people, almost like brothers and sisters that are your friends, and it just seems like lately just some bad things have been happening to good people. And I talked about that a month ago with my pastor. Why do bad things happen to good people, man? And it seems like that's ramping up a lot more now. I mean, look at Ukraine. Bad things are happening to good people, man. I mean, right there's a pure example of it right there. Bad things are... I know my pastor explained it. He did a great job. Just still have a hard time swallowing that pill. And like I said, I just don't... I wish I could be Superman and or something and just fix everything. Wave a wand, magic wand, and just fix it. Wouldn't it be great just to fix all the problems? It seems like there's a lot of cancer going on in the world today. A lot of people dying of cancer, or they got cancer, and it's just ramping up. All this stuff ramping up. Hear about all these diseases besides COVID-19. And I'm not trying to be downer. I'm trying to really be positive about things. But man, it's just weird. The changes going on. A lot of changes. I just really don't, like I said, understand it. That's all I got today, guys, really. Is changes. I've seen everything change from like the restaurants I grew up to, the food, the cars, the houses, the people. How people behave, how people look today. Oh my gosh. It's just so weird. I feel like I'm in a Twilight Zone. Comment below, especially if you're older. I mean, it's like Twilight Zone. I'm just kind of looking around and observing things, I noticed, I work in healthcare during the day. That's the main, bread box right there, so to speak. Money making. And I notice people that they hire nowadays, and I'm not trying to be judgmental, but there is no way I could have got hired looking the way they look. There's no way back in the day. There's no way. And I know people saying I'm just expressing myself. But you got like I'm going to say just really lightly, I don't want to offend anybody because that's not my job. But dress so and look so bizarre, out of the norm, that, like I said, back in the day, we just couldn't have got hired. This is one particular employee that looks like he came I mean, I'm just being serious, and this is what they called him back in the day. They called them circus freaks, not even clowns, like people that just were just all messed up look-wise. We got a guy that looks like this guy, like he just came out of the, you know, the freak show thing. You know, I mean, really. I mean, and I'm not saying that to be mean. It's fact. I could have never got hired if I looked like that. If I wanted to look like that. Now I got tattoo. You know, I got tattoo right there. Heart that bleeds. Only one I got. There you go. I have nothing against tattoos. My good buddy Daryl, like a brother, he's sleeved out. He teases about running out of real estate. You know, it's whatever you want to do. I'm cool with that. But they almost like, it's almost like with people these days. You got to keep going over. It's like the up one you. You got to keep going more and more and more bizarre and more weird. And it's not cool to be kind of quote unquote normal looking, normal acting, whatever. It's like you got to just keep trying to outdo the other person. Okay, you got one tattoo, the other guy's got 3 or 4. Then you got to cover your whole body. Then tattoos aren't good enough, so we start piercing. And like I said, I'm not against all this, but then you pierce everything. And then, you know, tattoos just like on the body and stuff are, you know, just, you know, that's not enough, so you start tattooing your face. And then that's not enough, you start destroying your face. You start destroying your earlobes and getting these big, you know, I forget what they call them now, where they expand the earlobes where there's like hardly anything, you know, these big plugs or whatever put in there. I forget, the post or whatever you guys call them. It's like it can't go from a simple, like, you know, earring to, it just gets more and more extreme. It's just like keep going over the top. It's like, okay, that's not good enough, so we got to tattoo this, tattoo that, tattoo here, tattoo there. Well, that's not good enough, so we're going to shave our head and tattoo our head. Might as well. I've seen people tattoo their whole body, make them look like a reptilian, you know, reptile and stuff like that. It's just, I don't know. I just don't know. Maybe I'm old or whatever, but I don't get it. I just don't understand it. There's got to be a point to where you're like, okay, being how you were born, right? We have these discussions about, I'm not going to get into political aspects about, you know, questions, you know, things. You guys know what I'm talking about. Back in the day, we didn't even have that issue. That wasn't even a topic. It wasn't even like something you had to go to court about or the judge had to make a judgment about. That's what I'm just talking about, changes, how things have just changed. Now, so where does it go? Like with changing your body appearance, for instance, where does it go from there? So say I've done all the tattooing I could possibly do. I've tattooed every little inch of skin on my whole entire body. Just say that, for instance. And I've pierced everything I could possibly pierce. And I've destroyed all this stuff that I could possibly destroy and distort as much as I possibly can. Where's the next, what's the next thing you do? You start cutting off limbs or something? Is that the next step? I mean, just all this, I call it bodily mutation. Where does it end? When do you stop? It's like, and that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about change today, guys. Change. So it's like, okay, like cars, for instance. Back in the day, you know, we would jack the car up in the back and we'd have maybe 15-inch wheels or something like that. Well, now it's like it wasn't good enough. You got to go 15, 16, 17, 20, 22, 25, whatever. All of a sudden, it's like, really, you just got a car sitting on top of big wheels. And the body's real small, but you got these huge wheels. It's like we do everything in extreme and in excess, and we exaggerate everything, and we got to up one everybody, and we got to make, you know, nothing is ever good enough. You can't just be, okay, you know, you got to have the shock, you know. I mean, I think that's where it's going with everything, you know. The traditional things are not traditional. It's like that's not cool to be traditional with anything anymore. Use your imagination or whatever with that. I can't get into the political part of it too much, and I don't even really want to. Okay, it doesn't matter to me. But now it's like, okay, but what does matter to me is this. The question I do have is this: is when does it end? The extremism of everything. Everything is extreme now. Like even if you look at the war that's going on over the invasion of Ukraine. That's an example of extreme right there. Vladimir Putin decides, okay, I want the Ukraine back, part of the old Soviet Union, and I'll do whatever it takes to get it and do this to the rest of the world. I don't care what they think. I'm just going to go ahead and bomb the shit out of the whole country. And I don't care who I kill in the process. I don't care how it goes. I just want that. People just want that. They're never satisfied with what they already have. Is what I'm trying to say. And I start getting a little aggravated the more I think about it. They're not happy with the way they're born. They're not happy with the way they look. They're not happy with the job or maybe they have or whatever. I understand that. But they're just not happy with what they have. They're not satisfied with what they have. They want to constantly keep changing and getting weirder and wanting more and more extreme and more extreme. You know, nothing's ever good enough. Comment below if you disagree with me. In human race, nothing's ever good enough. You know, we can't have black coffee. We got to have creamer in it. Well, creamer's not good enough. We got to do this. I mean, just a simple thing is coffee. Okay, you used to just drink black coffee, just plain coffee, nothing in. Okay, well, a little sugar. Okay, I put a little sugar and cream in. Okay, all right. Well, that's not good enough. So we got to do this and that to the coffee and this to the coffee. Put this in the coffee. Next thing you know, you got a freaking milkshake that kind of sort of tastes like a coffee. And it's nothing against that stuff. Like I said, there's nothing that, I'm not really hitting anybody personal or things personal. It's just observation on how all these things have changed, and we want more extremes. In other words, we've got to have faster planes, faster aircraft. I mean, planes, which is aircraft. We got to have faster automobiles. We got to have faster this, better that. Even like, okay, your phone. Okay, we got to have 5G technology because, 4G is not good enough. We got to have that. You guys get where I'm going with today on the podcast? Oh, you know what's going to cause? You know what? Here's my Johnny Allen humble opinion. With all this extremism going on with the human race, everything from how much you got to doctor a cup of coffee up to cell phones, to technology, to taking over other countries, to how you personally look or how you personally act and how you personally live your lifestyles with all this extremism and shock stuff that's going on. You know what I think, in my humble opinion, what's going to happen is human race is going to totally burn out. And I mean burn out. Like totally just burn out. We're gonna burn out and drop, and that's gonna be the end of us. We're just gonna burn out. We're gonna burn ourselves out. We're gonna burn ourselves out. Because you can only go so far with extremism before the car breaks down. You can only push the motor so far before it quits, blows up. That is what's going to happen. So I led all this story up to the end of this almost half hour to all this extremism that we're doing as human beings is going to end up burning us up and out. Burning us out, burning us up, whatever. We're going to just burn ourselves to the ground. We're going to be ashes because we don't know when to stop. We don't know when it's good enough. Everything from your looks to your phone to what you eat to taking over other people's countries. We don't care. Pollution, all of it. It's extremism. I got good friends of mine that are guitar players and bass players and guitar players, and I love these people. But how many damn guitars do you need? That's what I mean. Well, I got this guitar, so I need this one. I got this guitar, so I want another one. It gets to be obsession and possession and just plain, and everybody does it. I've been guilty of doing it. I'm starting to kind of downsize now. As I get older, I'm downsizing. I'm simplifying my life. I've always been pretty simple, but I'm simplifying my life. Like, I'm not getting any more tattoos. I got my one right there. Almost forgot which arm it was. Heart That Bleeds tattoo. That's the one I had years ago when I wrote the song Heart That Bleeds. I got a tattoo, to remember it. It's just like houses. Okay, I'm coming home from work. I got about 5 minutes left. Thanks for joining me today, guys. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I mean, that'd be cool. If you don't, whatever. I'm just having fun here. But on my way home, I observed in a higher class neighborhood, a house is going up. And I'm about ready to end, but huge homes, huge houses. I'm like, big. First of all, I don't know where they get the money. Man, it's hard to say. And more power to them, I guess. But why does someone need a house that big? And I guarantee the people that are building it's probably a single couple that are building this house. Or maybe a single dude that's building this huge fortress of a house. What a waste of material, in my opinion. You have a house that's just adequate for what you need. I'm not preaching that you got to stay small, but these people that are living in tiny houses, though, I am pretty amazed by them. I follow these people that live in RVs and tiny houses and cabins and stuff like that. One last thing I'd like to note that I observed last week. I'm talking about the extremism and how we're going to burn ourselves out with everything we do. Everything. How we live, how we live our lives, and how we're just, extreme in everything. Eating up all of our resources. Okay, this is an example of it, and I'm going to go. I was driving to church the other day, and across the street on my right side, they just destroyed probably 10 acres of woods. Now, this is a true story, guys. Now, I'm going to close with this thought. You guys really seriously think about this. And I'm not a huge environmentalist or anything, but this does bother me. And I do think about it a lot. So I got this acreage, it's 10 acres, and I'm watching them slowly destroy this beautiful woods. Flattening it, logging it, destroying it. Just and where they're doing this, they're building up everywhere, right? So they just keep building, building. We keep expanding. We keep chopping down the forest and buying up farmland, and we're just building stuff. I'm being nice. So as this woods over here is being destroyed, I look across the street over here, and there's a herd of deer that are standing and look, I kid you not, looking over at their woods that's collapsed and trees down. And all the big heavy equipment just sitting there in the mud, and the grass is gone, and the trees are gone, because they're going to make a strip mall there. Another strip mall. There you go. That's all I got today, guys. Peace in the world. We pray for peace over there, all over the place, but especially in Ukraine right now, right? So they're destroying land to build stuff because they don't have enough shops and they don't have enough access online to buy things. We don't as human beings. We don't have enough stuff. So you destroy all this land by the poor deer over there going, wow, our homes are gone. Where are we supposed to go? They're not buying stuff. They're just trying to survive. They're enjoying what God gave them. Why don't we do that? That's the moral of this story today, this podcast. Why don't we just enjoy what we're born with, who we are, what we're born with, and live a simple life? Why don't we do that? If you're already doing that, kudos to you. I don't think you got to wreck your face. I don't think you got to do all these things to get attention or stick out or be, extreme or shock value or whatever it is that they do. That's just my own humble opinion. Anyway, like I say every week, Lord willing, I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully, we still have a planet. Like I said, I'm trying to be positive, but lately I have not been because I don't like what I'm seeing. I really don't like what's going on in the world. Seeing that picture, I told my wife, I said, man, if my cell phone, if I had it on me and I wasn't driving, I would have videotaped that scene. It was so, I should have pulled over and did it, but I didn't. If it ever happens again, I will. And I'll share it. It was so humbling and so disturbing and sad. Remember the commercial back in the 70s? A lot of you guys are probably too young to remember, but the Indian crying a tear from the pollution. That's what it reminded me of. Poor deer looking as their woods is being destroyed for another strip mall. So we're building stuff and destroying woods while Vladimir or what the hell his name is over there is destroying Ukraine, cities and stuff that's been there for many, many years, destroying all that. For what? I'll tell you what, I don't know if you believe in God or not. I do. And if you don't, you better start because you know what? He's getting pissed. I think. I don't think he gets pissed, but I think he's about ready to make a change. That's all I'm going to say. He's seen his children mess up. He's going to make a change. I'm out of here, guys. I'll see you next week. Go get your Black Rifle coffee. It's a good cause. Share your coffee. I thanked a guy a few weeks ago. He shared his coffee. I do appreciate you doing that. I'll see you guys next week. The good Lord willing. Adios.